Unsettling news has emerged from Iran as President Ebrahim Raisi, 63 years old, has tragically killed in a helicopter crash. Is it really an accident? What really happened? Keep watching and find out the top 4 potential reasons of this fatal tragedy. On May 19, 2024, after President Raisi traveled from Azerbaijan province with 3 helicopters in a convoy, the shocking crash occurred near Yolfa, a city on the Iran-Azerbaijan border of Tehran, the Iranian capital, northwestern region, a land known for its rugged terrain and mountainous landscapes. The helicopter involved was a US-manufactured Bell 212, a kind of model that is renowned for its reliability, making the incident all the more shocking. Accompanying President Raisi on this ill-fated journey was a high-level delegation, which included the Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian, East Azerbaijan Governor Malik Ramati, and East Azerbaijan Imam of Friday Prayer, Muhammad Ali Hashim, who too, unfortunately didn't survive the crash when they were returning from the inauguration of a dam at Iran-Azerbaijan border. This loss of prominent figures in a single incident has left a significant void in the Iranian government, causing ripples of concern across the nation and beyond. The big question, what really happened? In the immediate aftermath of the crash, Iran's Vice President Mohammad Mokber is set to assume the presidency. His task will not be an easy one, as he navigates the nation through this period of mourning and uncertainty, all the while preparing for the new elections. As the news of President Raisi's death spread, a pall of gloom descended over Iran. A national state of mourning has been declared, and condolences. The loss of President Raisi, who was a hardliner and a protege of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is likely to have profound implications for the country's political landscape. The cause of the crash is currently attributed to technical failure. But as speculation arises over possible US sanctions on Iran's aircraft purchases playing a role, it does beg the question, could there be more to the story? When such high-profile figures are involved in tragedies, questions inevitably arise. Could there have been foul play involved in this helicopter crash? Now here are the top 4 potential answers to what happened. First, we have technical failure. Helicopters, like any machine, can malfunction. The issue could be as simple as a faulty part or as complex as a systemic failure. In this case, the helicopter involved was a US-manufactured Bell 212, a model known for its reliability. Yet even the most dependable machines can falter. According to aviation experts, technical failure accounts for approximately 50% of helicopter crashes. Next, let's consider the possible effects of US sanctions on Iran's aircraft purchases. These sanctions limit Iran's access to new aircraft and spare parts, which could potentially result in the use of outdated or poorly maintained equipment. It's a plausible theory, but it's difficult to quantify, as the impact of sanctions on aviation safety is a complex and contentious issue. Our third possibility is weather conditions. Even the best pilots can struggle in adverse weather. However, at the time of the crash, conditions were reported as clear and calm. This makes weather a less likely factor, perhaps contributing to around 10% of crashes. Finally, there's the prospect of sabotage. Given the high-profile nature of the victims and the political climate, it's a theory that can't be ignored. However, sabotage is relatively rare, accounting for less than 5% of all aviation accidents. While technical failures are common in aviation accidents, the other possibilities cannot be ruled out without a detailed investigation. As we await the findings, it's important to remember that speculation should not replace fact, and respect for the deceased should guide all discussions. The loss of a leader is a moment of deep sadness and uncertainty. How is Iran reacting to the death of their president? What is next to Iran? In the wake of this tragic event, the Iranian government has swiftly declared national mourning. This is a time for reflection and remembrance, a time for the nation to come together in grief. The atmosphere is somber, the streets quiet, as the people of Iran grapple with their loss. Meanwhile, the public's response to this unfortunate event has been varied. While some mourn the loss of their leader, others perceive this as an opportunity for change. This tragedy could potentially fuel these protests further, driving the calls for rights, freedoms, and even regime change in Iran. In the midst of this uncertainty, Iran's Vice President, Mohammad Mokber, is set to assume the presidency until new elections can be held. Mokber, a seasoned politician, will be tasked with steering the ship of state through these turbulent waters. The world will be watching closely as he navigates the challenges of his new role, from managing the ongoing protests to dealing with the economic challenges and stalled nuclear talks that characterized Raisi's presidency. And let's not forget, the international arena. Iran has been inching closer to Russia and China with the signing of a memorandum of obligations to join the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This shift in alliances, seen as a response to US sanctions and isolation, could potentially be influenced by the change in leadership. It will be interesting to see how this geopolitical reorientation evolves under Mokber's stewardship. As Iran mourns its loss, the world watches to see what will happen next. The death of a leader can trigger a period of instability and change. What could this mean for Iran's future? The sudden demise of President Ebrahim Raisi has left a power vacuum that Iran must promptly address. While Iran's Vice President, Mohammad Mokber, is set to assume the presidency until new elections can be held, the question remains, who will step into the shoes of the late president? Internationally, Iran's relations with other countries could undergo significant changes. The country has recently been inching closer to Russia and China, as evidenced by its plans to join the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Yet the complexities in its relationships with these nations suggest that the transition will not be smooth sailing. Further, Iran's historical ties with the West could either be reinforced or strained, depending largely on the approach of the new leadership. Domestically, the process for new elections will be closely watched, both domestically and internationally. It's a pivotal moment for Iran that will shape its trajectory in the coming years. Free, fair, and transparent elections could potentially ease tensions and give the new leadership a mandate to govern effectively. Only time will tell how Iran navigates through this challenging period. In honor of the late President Raisi, Iran has declared a period of national mourning. What does this entail? In Iran, national mourning typically involves a 5-day period of remembrance and reflection. Throughout these 5 days, the country comes to a virtual standstill as the people pay their respects to the departed leader. Public offices, schools, and businesses close, while television and radio stations alter their programming to focus on the life and legacy of the late president. During this time, the Iranian flag is flown at half-mast on all government buildings, both domestically and abroad. The color black, symbolizing mourning, becomes a prominent feature in the urban landscape, adorning billboards and public spaces. Religious observances play a key role in the mourning period. The majority of Iranians, being Shia Muslims, will participate in collective prayers and recitations of the Quran at mosques across the country. Meanwhile, state funerals have been planned for President Raisi and the other passengers who tragically lost their lives in the helicopter crash. These ceremonies will be attended by high-ranking officials and foreign dignitaries, and are expected to draw vast crowds of mourners. As Iran bids farewell to its leader, the world joins in sharing their sorrow and extends its condolences to the people of Iran. However, the world is watching what is next. Click like, share, and subscribe for more current events like this.